Since the beginning, humanity has looked to the sky and wondered about its origin and purpose. However, the opening words of Genesis leave no doubt. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. This phrase is not only a starting point that explains the emergence of everything but also points to a greater purpose, a divine purpose. After all, how could the world, with its order and beauty, come into existence by mere chance? While many search for meaning in modern theories, Genesis 1 invites us to look to the Creator, a source of answers that transcends speculation and, at the same time, touches the heart. Amidst so many philosophies and sciences that try to explain our existence, there is something profoundly rooted in Genesis that still impacts us. This book is not just an ancient narrative, it is a message that speaks to our inner self about order, purpose, and God's creative power. When we understand creation as an act of love and intention, we realize that the universe is not a cosmic accident. Every detail, every aspect of the world reflects the Creator's hand, and this leads us to reflect, if everything has a purpose, what might ours be? In this script, we will explore Genesis 1 and uncover the secrets this narrative holds for us. More than an origin story, Genesis is a compass for life, a journey through creation that teaches us about harmony, order, and rest. Each day of creation reveals an aspect of the world, culminating with humanity being shaped in the image of God. And what does this mean for us today? Get ready, for each topic brings a timeless lesson, offering insights to understand our role and responsibility in creation. Shall we embark on this journey? The context of the book of Genesis and its original readers. The book of Genesis is like a window to the past, written for a people surrounded by other cultures and creation myths. For the Hebrews, reading or hearing these words presented a unique and striking perspective, that of a sovereign God who brings order to chaos. Unlike other ancient stories, Genesis presents an orderly and intentional creation, not as the result of a struggle between gods, but as the work of a purposeful creator. This message strengthened them, reminding them that they belong to a God who saw and cared for them. Imagine being in the desert, hearing about a God who not only created the world, but did so with a clear purpose. This was revolutionary. The original readers of Genesis found a reason to believe that everything had meaning and that their lives were part of something greater. The story of creation offered them a contrast to the unstable gods of neighboring nations, which seemed to reflect chaos rather than order. The God of Genesis, on the other hand, was a God of covenant and order, something that provided security and identity to the people. The context of Genesis also brings a note of hope. For those facing hardships, the creation story showed that God was capable of transforming chaos into something beautiful. In a world where everything often seems uncertain, the Genesis narrative emerges as an anchor. It wasn't just about the origin of the world, but about the Creator's transformative power in any situation. The God who shaped the cosmos with his words could certainly shape their lives and destinies, even in the most challenging circumstances. Every time the Israelites read these words, they were reminded that they were part of an intentional creation, where each detail was carefully planned. It was a story that reaffirmed their faith and identity. For them, Genesis was not a scientific explanation, but confirmation that they were under the care of a God who gave them origin and purpose. Understanding this, they were moved to live according to this truth, knowing that the same Creator God continues to work in the world and in their lives. The sequence of the 6 days of creation. The narrative of the 6 days of creation in Genesis leads us to a true spectacle of order and purpose. On the first day, God separates light from darkness, establishing the foundation for everything that would follow. Each day, new elements are added with a clear purpose and specific function. Nothing was done by chance, and each stage complements the previous one, like a meticulous construction. Imagine an artist painting a masterpiece. Each brushstroke has its place, and the result is a perfect harmony among elements. The sequence also reveals God's nature as a careful planner. First came light, then the firmament, earth and sea, followed by vegetation, and later, the stars to mark time. Each day plays a role in the grand plan. This teaches us that, just as creation follows an order, our lives can also benefit from sequence and purpose. Following steps is a valuable principle, and even in our daily lives, planning before acting helps us achieve more lasting and balanced results. Each day, God creates something new and declares it good. This appreciation of His own work is a lesson in itself, recognizing the value of what we accomplish. Often, we move straight to the next goal without acknowledging what we've already achieved. God shows us that there is a time to create and a time to contemplate, celebrating what has been done. Perhaps we could apply this by setting aside moments to view our accomplishments with gratitude, as this brings meaning to our actions and prevents ongoing dissatisfaction. At the end of the sixth day, creation was complete, but there was a special detail: humanity. All the preparation until this point led to the pinnacle of creation, where God created man and woman in His own image and likeness. It's as if the entire stage was prepared for this grand entrance. The sequence of the 6 days teaches us that things have their time and that there is beauty in waiting and preparation. A reminder that when we follow God's plans, harmony naturally emerges. The importance of order and purpose in creation. Every aspect of creation reveals a profound intentionality. God didn't just make things happen. He gave each part a specific purpose. In organizing the world, He established the value of order and function. This prompts us to reflect on our own lives and how we seek meaning and purpose in everything we do. Just as each element in creation has a role, each of us also has a unique function in life. And perhaps aligning with this purpose is precisely what brings true fulfillment. Creation reflects a divine purpose where order is an essential ingredient. In a world where chaos and disorder often seem to prevail, creation reminds us of the importance of seeking organization in our lives. Just as the sun has its place and water follows its course, having a routine and direction can help us live more fully and fulfilled. Setting our priorities and organizing our plans may be the key to a balanced life. God shows us that everything in creation was made to fulfill a specific function, meaning nothing was made without purpose. This lesson invites us to reflect on how we can find meaning in the small actions of our daily lives. Each gesture, each decision, contributes to a greater purpose. Perhaps we can apply this by seeking a routine where every action has its value and where our day is filled with activities that reflect our goals and mission. When we contemplate creation, we see that God designed everything with a greater purpose in mind, something beyond our comprehension. Perhaps we are called to live with this perspective, seeking to understand that every moment of our existence is part of something grand. This way, we can face our challenges and achievements with a new vision, knowing that each detail has meaning. Before we continue, leave your like and subscribe to the channel to be blessed with more videos to inspire your life. Rest on the seventh day. Lessons on the value of rest. After 6 days of creation, God rested on the seventh, not because He was tired, but to teach us the importance of rest. This act of stopping shows us that work and productivity must be balanced with moments of pause. We live in a society that glorifies excessive activity, where rest is often seen as weakness. But looking at the divine example, we see that rest is actually an essential part of our existence. God's rest also serves as a blessing and a model for us. By setting aside time to stop and reflect, we allow ourselves to renew our strength and regain mental clarity. Without moments of pause, our productivity and quality of life are impaired. Think about how small daily or weekly breaks can help recharge our energies and maintain balance between body, mind, and spirit. The pause on the seventh day teaches us the value of setting aside time for contemplation and gratitude. Resting is also a time to reconnect with the Creator, recognizing that our lives do not depend solely on our efforts. By following this example, we can apply rest in practical ways, such as setting a day to disconnect from worries and enjoy family, nature, and life itself. In the end, rest becomes a way of trusting God and the purpose of creation. By honoring this principle, we align ourselves with divine order and find renewal for our challenges. Resting is not an interruption, but an essential step to continue our journey with renewed strength. The creation of humanity in God's image. On the sixth day, God did something extraordinary. He created humanity in his own image and likeness. This statement is profound because it indicates that each person bears a mark of the Creator himself. This gives us intrinsic value and reminds us of our responsibility to reflect the divine character. Each individual, in recognizing this image of God within themselves, is invited to live with dignity, respect, and love. Being made in God's image is a call to live in a way that honors this likeness. We have the capacity to love, create, and care, traits that reflect the divine nature. When we act with kindness, compassion, and justice, we are imitating God himself. It is a grand task, calling us to be better and to treat others with the respect they deserve. Moreover, this divine image reminds us of our connection to others. All human beings, regardless of their differences, share this same origin and value. This challenges us to transcend divisions and seek a world that is more united and respectful. By living out this reality, we become agents of peace and reconciliation, reflecting God's goodness. This image challenges us to care for ourselves and others, understanding that we are valuable in God's eyes. Embracing this understanding changes our perspective on life, inspiring us to make choices that honor this divine likeness. It is both a responsibility and a privilege, a call to be the best version of ourselves. Harmony between humanity and nature. Creation was not made solely for humanity. Each plant, animal, and element has its place and function within the divine plan. God established an order in which humanity and nature coexist in harmony. We are called to care for and preserve the world entrusted to us, respecting the life around us. This relationship with nature reflects our reverence for the Creator and His work. This harmony reminds us that we are not superior to creation, but part of it. When we care for nature, we are honoring God's work. Small actions, such as recycling, conserving water, and protecting natural habitats, demonstrate our commitment to the world given to us. This care is an expression of gratitude and acknowledgement of the beauty around us. Furthermore, nature is a constant source of lessons and inspiration. Observing the order and balance in creation, we learn lessons of resilience and adaptation. Life around us teaches about cycles, renewal, and interdependence. This connection with nature helps us develop humility and recognize that we are part of an ecosystem that depends on us as much as we depend on it. Taking care of the world around us is a responsibility that carries both spiritual and practical rewards. When we protect creation, we ensure a healthy environment for future generations. It is our way of collaborating with God's purpose and living in harmony with the universe He created with such care. Modern application, caring for the planet, and valuing creation. In a world where natural resources are increasingly exploited, the call to care for creation becomes even more urgent. It's not enough to simply admire creation's beauty. We must act to preserve it. Environmental stewardship is a practical and modern application of what we learn from Genesis. We are guardians of this planet, and each small action can make a big difference. Valuing creation means adopting sustainable practices in our routine. Reducing plastic use, supporting renewable energy, and choosing environmentally friendly products are ways to demonstrate our commitment to God's work. By doing so, we are not only helping the planet, but showing respect for the purpose God assigned to creation. This practical application also teaches us about interdependence. By protecting the environment, we are protecting ourselves and future generations. Each of us is part of a greater whole, and our individual actions can impact the world in profound ways. By valuing creation, we contribute to a better, more balanced world. Caring for the planet is an act of obedience to the divine purpose. By taking on this responsibility, we honor the call God has given us and show gratitude for the world He created. Our role as guardians connects us to the Creator and inspires us to live in a way that respects and values creation. As we reach the end of this journey through Genesis, one thing becomes clear. Creation is not just a story of the past, but a living lesson for the present. It reminds us that everything has a purpose and that divine order continues to manifest around us. And this leads us to a challenging question. How have we managed the creation around us? Have we been good stewards of this world entrusted to us? Perhaps this reflection is the first step toward a change in mindset. Observing the order and purpose in creation invites us to reflect on how we can apply these principles in our own lives. Maybe it's time to reorganize our priorities and seek a greater purpose in what we do. Just as God had a plan in creating the world, we can also have a plan for each area of our lives. Ask yourself, what am I creating with my life? And am I living intentionally, aligned with something greater than myself? Creation, with its order and beauty, points to a creator who desires us to live in harmony with both the world and one another. Now, you can be part of this mission by caring for what was created and valuing God's work. If these reflections touched your heart, don't hesitate to stay with us and dive deeper into these teachings. Subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and come discover more about this purpose that surrounds us all.